Today we're grabbing a coffee and chatting with Filomena, a QHS member whose life journey is as dynamic and inspiring as the city streets. But what twists and turns brought her to where she is today? Let's dive into her story and explore the bustling path behind the scenes.
My name is Filomena, and for the last 18 years I've been dealing with an illness that no one can figure out. I suffer from loss of muscle tissue and strength. According to a few biofeedback scans, it came back with poliomyelitis, Prions disease, EBV, and Hashimoto. I was born in Brooklyn in 1976. I am the second oldest of 4 girls. Both my parents were born in Italy. My mom came here when she was 9 years old with her parents and her brother. And after high school, she went back to Italy and met my dad. They got married, and my dad came here when he was 20 years old. He is the youngest of 7 children and was raised on a farm. When he came to America, he didn't speak English, but he was determined to learn, so that's what he did. He learned English, and he started his own construction company, which we are very proud of his accomplishments, because he did very well for all of us. Growing up, my childhood, I really don't have any complaints. We moved from Brooklyn to a very quiet suburban neighborhood. The home I grew up in was haunted, and I know a lot of people would probably freak out from that, but maybe because I was so young that I just thought it was normal. But I don't have any scary things that has happened, but I mean, there's definitely some interesting stories, but it just seemed normal for us. The block I lived on, there was a lot of kids, so we were always outside playing, and we played till the street lights went on, and that's when we knew to come home. And that was pretty much my childhood, always out in the street playing. Growing up, I've always felt safe, protected, loved. We grew up in a loud Italian household, which was fun. Crazy at times. It was somewhat strict, but we were able to think for ourselves and make choices and learn from right and wrong. And being loyal and respectful to ourselves and to others was very big. Sticking up for your sisters no matter what was our biggest motto, I guess. But I find myself doing that even till this day. Even if my sisters are wrong, I will defend them till the end. My husband thinks I'm crazy, but that's just the way I grew up, and I don't see anything wrong with it. Growing up, I was really shy, so it was very difficult for me to strike up a conversation. I did do a little bit of modeling, but that didn't continue because of my shyness, so that ended fairly quickly. After high school, my sister and I took a 3-month vacation to Italy so we can get to know our aunts and uncles and cousins. That's on my dad's side, and that will always be a very special memory for us. I'm going to fast forward to the year 2000 when I met my husband, and we dated for 7 years until we were ready to start a family. So we purchased our first home, and we started renovating. And that time was pretty stressful because we were living through renovation. And I experienced, for the first time, discrimination from my in-laws. And that was pretty hard to go through. But I kind of, out of respect for my husband, I didn't say much about that. I didn't express my feelings on how I felt towards the situation, and I kind of brushed it off. During this time, I did feel my body changing, but I just chalked it up to all the stress that we were going through. The following year, we got married in 2008, and we quickly realized getting pregnant, we needed help. So we went for testing, and it showed that the hernia repair that my husband had at age 15, the doctor also performed a vasectomy. So we could not have children naturally. And so we did do IVF. We had 3 successful IVF transfers, but unfortunately all 3 ended in miscarriages. We did try reversing the vasectomy, but that was also unsuccessful. And so after all that, and we just decided to focus on my health, because at this point I knew something wasn't right. My body was not feeling good, and it felt like I had someone sitting on my shoulders all the time. My legs felt heavy. I was exhausted. I couldn't really walk far. My heart would start racing for no reason. I noticed I couldn't start raising my arms above my head, and I still can't. Walking up steps became very difficult, and I've been to numerous doctors and specialists. I went through scans, biopsies, blood tests, and I was just a mystery, and doctors would just pass, send me back and forth. I literally just went back and forth to every specialist. I remember one month I fell every single day, and I would trip over anything. Anything that would take me off balance, I was going down. And I quickly realized I was losing my core muscles, which is why I had a hard time balancing myself. So since I refused to use a cane or a wheelchair, I had to focus on which muscles were still functioning. And I had to retrain myself on how to walk without falling, how to get up from a seated position, learn how to use the front of my toes or the front of my foot to walk up steps. Otherwise, someone would have to carry me. And that's how I was able to walk up steps, just by using the front of my foot. But by doing this, I kind of deformed my body, because I had to figure out which muscles were still functioning. So, I mean, my husband was always very supportive and still is, but I still felt alone in this because I was confused and scared because the doctors couldn't help me. So, and my sisters were angry at me because I wasn't on medication. I think I tried every natural therapy out there. I did try Western medicine twice, but both times I had to use holistic medicine to get me back to like a functioning state. I had to leave my accounting job because I physically couldn't do it anymore. It got really bad at one point. My husband had to lift me out of bed every morning before he left for work. I needed help walking down steps, showering, getting dressed. I was scared to sneeze because it took my breath away. I couldn't laugh either. Again, I couldn't breathe if I laughed or sneezed. Sometime in 2017, I did another biofeedback scan, and it came back that I had to take these homeopathic tinctures, and I experienced my first herpes, which lasted a month. And I didn't know anything about binders. I didn't even know about a herpes. My mouth was so dry. I would wake up gasping for air. I didn't think I was gonna wake up in the morning. That month, after everything was over, I was able to get out of bed on my own. I was walking unassisted. I was able to shower on my own. But the strange thing is, I couldn't swallow food. Anything I tried to swallow, if I tried to drink water, it felt like I was drowning. Food would get stuck in the corner of my throat. It still does. So I had to blend everything. I made smoothies. Soups were blended. Everything I had to eat was blended, and I had to drink very slow. In 2020, I did another scan using saliva, and that showed all my organs weren't functioning at 100%. Some would drop below the red zone, and then I got hit with the shedding, and then I felt my body go down real fast. It felt dark, it felt negative, it felt unnatural. I started having nerve pain in my arms, in my legs, and my feet. My hormones went crazy. My menstrual cycle became heavy. Honestly, did not think I would make another year, and I was terrified, thinking I tried everything and there was nothing left. And then in May of 2022, I received a text message from a friend sending me a link to sign up for the med beds, and it was QHS. And for the first time in a long time, I felt some hope. I remember I was stuck in traffic, and I was not waiting to get home to fill out this form. So I signed up, and I filled out this long form for QHS and became a member. And then I told my husband, if I'm going in, you're going. So I filled out his form, and he became a member as well. So I've been with QHS since May of 2022. I received my first device in June of 2022, and I would say within 3 months, I was able to sneeze without losing my breath. I was able to laugh. I no longer had any nerve pain running down my arms, into my hips, down my legs. And in January of 2024, I did another saliva scan. And this device brought back some major organs. My lungs, kidneys, bladder are functioning at a 90%. My heart muscle and valve is at 80% now. And those organs were in the red zone. So this device worked on some major organs, and I guess it knew what needed help first. And now I am waiting for the latest invention from Dr. Alfredo, and that is the V9. And I'm also waiting for the HHS. And I can't wait to completely heal. So I can live life again. So thank you for listening to my story, and I'm sending everyone help and healing.
Join us on the Prequel, where every story matters and every voice is heard. Because here at QHS, we're all about healing, learning, and growing together.